If you have never processed chickens before and you're thinking about it, this is the video for you. If you know what you're doing and you've processed chickens many times, stay tuned to the end because this is our first time processing chickens. Ryan and I are gonna take the last chicken for each of us, record breaking the chicken down like we're pros, like we've done it a million times before. And we need in the comments who you think did it better, Ryan or Daniel. Now we're gonna move the chickens over to where we have everything set up. This day is coming about a month later than we thought it was going to because these chickens just weren't putting on weight. Now they're about 13 weeks old, but now it's time to process them. Now let me first reiterate that this is for our use, for our personal consumption. We have raised these the way that we wanted to raise them, on pasture, in a chicken tractor, with high quality feed, and we hope to now reap the benefits of that. We have our processing station behind us, so I'll walk you through how we have everything set up here. Here are our dispatch cones. We found some helpful videos online about how to make some cones out of Home Depot buckets. Got two different sizes here. That was partially intentional, and we're gonna have them draining down into the buckets there. So that's our dispatch station. We come over here to where we've got our water heating up. It's still coming up to temperature. Right next to our scalder, we've got the plucker that I was able to borrow from a friend. This one is big enough for one bird, so we'll be doing one bird at a time. From the plucker here, they'll go into this ice bath, getting ready to be broken down. Then once they come out of there, they're gonna go on our table. This is really just a piece of plywood. Ryan had this waterproof material that we put on top just to try to help keep everything cleaner. Once we're done here, they're gonna go in here where we've got some more ice water, and that's where they will cool down and get ready to be bagged. Also, we've got our buckets underneath to be able to capture everything, and we're gonna separate out the hearts and liver and feet and things like that. We've got a hose hanging out right there on standby, and we're just about ready to do it. Okay, for you other first timers out there, when you're getting things set up, take into account how long it's gonna take your pot to get up to the right temperature. We did not get that started early enough, so much later in the day getting started than we had thought it would be, but we're gonna make it happen. Due to YouTube restrictions and guidelines, we are not gonna show the actual dispatching. We will show putting the chicken in the cone so you can see how well these 5-gallon bucket cones work, but we will not show the actual dispatching. So what you're gonna see is them going in, and then you'll see them coming out again and moving on to the next step.
All right, Daniel, this is where we're learning. I'm gonna go ahead and go get another one.
Yeah. Oh shoot, we didn't weigh them.
We can weigh them now and throw the head in there.
Okay, so first observation, not a whole lot of blood is actually ending up in the buckets. So just take that into account when you're setting up your dispatch station. Don't do this on your carport if you don't want it stained with blood. First two are down. Ryan said that it was a little bit more difficult than you thought it would be to remove the heads.
Yeah, just
Force.
The force of the knife, I had to push harder than I thought I would have had to.
Yeah. We want to get them completely submerged because we plan to use the feet for broth, so we want them scalded as well.
She hot. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, in there with it. It pulled meat off the bird. Oh no. Oh wow.
So should it have scalded them?
No, it might have scalded too long.
Long.
Yeah, I think that was the problem.
You cooked it.
I think it more or less cooked it, and I think because it's such a small bird, it was getting stuck under the bottom fingers.
Okay. Process it?
Now it's time to put them in.
I mean, practice.
Goodness gracious. Yeah. Okay, so another couple mistakes. We left it too long in the scalding water.
People in the comments are going to be ruthless.
When it was in the plucker, it looked like it still had feathers on it, and I think it did, but it basically came apart. Okay, the second one went much better. We scalded it for less
30
time.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Yeah, about 30 seconds. Stayed in the plucker far less time. This is also a bigger bird, so it wasn't getting caught under the fingers. But as you can see, we have something that resembles a chicken and not minced meat. So we're improving on the second bird. All right, so Ryan is weighing the next one. This is bird number 3. First one, unmitigated disaster. Second one actually went pretty well. We did also move this down so that the blood would be closer to the bucket. In the future, I would probably bring the whole thing up, including the buckets, so that we don't have to squat down like that. Okay, we're about not quite halfway through. We are pausing to refresh the scalding water. We've done 7 birds so far. We've definitely gotten better. The process with the scalding to plucking ice bath is going pretty smoothly, I think. I will say that having never done this before, I didn't realize how much of that connective tissue that has to be kind of broken.
I didn't know it was as strong as it was.
Yeah, and I didn't really know what I was breaking, so I was afraid that I would rupture something else. I was really hesitant. It took me a long time to get the guts out of the first one because I was just afraid of rupturing something. Since we've never done this before, both of us have had our hands in each portion of it, which we needed to figure out what we're doing, but now we got to get faster. We've got our scalding pot now up to temperature, so we're ready to get started again. So I'm gonna get a couple of chickens going here. We're gonna get them drained out and get back to it. I've never heard anybody else talk about controlling the blood going into there. One of the things that Ryan discovered is that if you hold the feet after you've dispatched them, hold the feet and kind of pin them against the cone, then although they are still twitching, it doesn't eliminate that, but it did make more of the blood actually go down into the bucket instead of getting spattered around.
Minimize their flopping.
Yeah, it minimizes the flopping, and so that actually did help direct some of the blood and kind of keep things a little bit cleaner.
6, 7, 8, 9, 20.
I'm like a witch at her cauldron.
Put the chicken to the stew. Boil it round, through and through. Pull its finger off.
That's a big bird.
Okay, we made it through the processing and cleaned up some, but Ryan and I were just beat. We were tired, mentally drained, and we decided it was best to break for dinner. Now we're gonna bag these birds, but make sure you stay tuned for when Ryan and I competed to see who could walk you through processing a chicken better. Okay, so we've got these bags. We're gonna get the chickens out. We're gonna dry them off some. Then we're gonna take a bag, chicken head first into the bag. Then we put this down into the cavity, but not all the way down, just like a quarter of the way in. Spin it off so the tube is going there. We'll put a zip tie on and then dip it in there just for a few seconds, but you gotta get it all the way under, and then pull it out, and then the air will come out. And then pull this. Okay, chicken is in the bag. Ryan's got the hot glove on. The water is right at 190 degrees. He's dipping it in.
Right there. Where's my? That one sucked in fairly tight.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
looked at yours.
That looks clean. Brian is finishing up Big Bertha here, and then we're gonna do our head-to-head challenge. And I'm gonna walk you through the process, acting like I know what I'm talking about, and then Ryan's gonna do the same thing.
Are we trying to be as professional as possible?
Oh yeah, definitely. You are Joel Salatin in this moment.
Oh, heck yes.
Yes, absolutely. Just channel your inner Joel. Then we need you guys to leave a comment who you think did it better.
I can totally see after doing 50 or 60 or 100, you would have it down.
Salatin has said there's something that happens after your like 4,830th bird where it suddenly clicks and you're able to do it without even thinking about it. So we should process a couple more birds, I guess. I should also say that of the 19 birds, I might have done 14 or 15.
Yeah.
So I do have a little bit more practice. 14 is nowhere close to that Joel Salatin number. The first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip it over so we've got the breast side up, and we're gonna remove the esophagus and the crop. To do that, I'm gonna come in here and slice the skin so that I can get to it. Got the crop right here. I'm just gonna tear that. And instead of trying to pull it through the other side, I get to a spot where I can cut it here. There's the crop. The esophagus is right there. So dispose of that. Now I'm gonna get the neck about that same spot. I'm gonna try to get a little bit further back. I've really dulled my knife by cutting through neck bone. Just gonna give it a twist, give it a break, and I'm gonna cut through the rest of that meat right there. Now I'm gonna go to the back side of the bird here and I'm gonna get this skin. I'm gonna cut right through there. I'm cutting away because I don't want to puncture anything on the inside. Get through this little fat layer right there. We're gonna open things up. So I'm just gonna take my hand, go straight in, and I'm gonna try to clear some of those membranes away so that then I can get everything out. All right, so pull it all out. All right. So we've got the heart right here. Pull that off. We've got our liver. I get really nervous about puncturing that gallbladder, which I did on one of them. So I'm just gonna trim that away instead of pulling it off. I don't know. I'm not as good. Now we've got the rest of it to deal with. So I'm gonna come in here just right to the right of the rectum. We've got the rectum right there. What we wanna do is we wanna cut in and get that out, preferably without cutting anything. So that side, and I'm gonna come down on the other side and come right in there, keeping everything intact. And then that's the rest of our guts right there. Now I gotta go back in and get the lungs. See if you can is there enough light? Okay.
Oh, there's plenty.
That is the lung right there. It is tucked up in the ribs, so you have to kind of get your fingers in there and scrape at it to really get it to come out. All right, there's one lung. Other lung, it looks like I partially got out when I was getting the rest of the guts out. All right, so that kind of a massacred lung, but that's the rest of the lung right there. Give the bird a hose down. One last check to make sure I got everything. Looks good. Clean bird. Now we'll weigh it and get it on to chill.
All right, so this bird has been chilling for about 10 to 15 minutes. We're gonna gut it. We'll start by getting the craw right there, I believe.
Be Joel, be confident.
This is the craw. Spin it around, grab the tailbone, pull the skin out away from it so I don't poke any organs inside of her. I've been pulling her open a little bit. I'll reach in, try to get everything out in one pull. Ooh, there's a good bit of fat. I don't think I'm going to. Got your heart. We'll go ahead, make sure my gallbladder didn't bust. There it is right there. And it did not. I'll pull my liver off. Liver looks good. I don't want to cut the rectum sac. What are we calling this thing?
I think just the rectum is good enough.
In and up. In, up. cut with them. There we go. The neck,
Ah, yeah.
a little bit off. Just gonna tear that puppy out of there. And we done, more or less.